Welcome back to Jenny's World, keeping it fresh, keeping it real, and keeping it middle-aged. Don't forget to follow me, Instagram and Twitter, details down below in the description box. And don't forget to follow my channel, just hit that subscribe button. Now, this is part 2, as I said, about the catch-up on Love Island. Now, we've got 7 couples. We know one of those couples is just really a friendship, so I'm not going to talk too much about that yet. But I will come back to Mike and his roaming eyes. So, we've got the other couples who we think are a really good match. But I'm going to talk about Wallace and Rebecca because we're starting to see cracks in there. And as we know, it didn't end too well. I kind of felt sorry for Wallace. It was kind of clear. He was kind of going out of his way to kind of get to know Rebecca and kind of do little things. He cooked her breakfast. And did he know she was allergic or didn't like avocados? No, he did not. But he made a breakfast and she could have just said, thanks, appreciate it, but I can't eat avocados. But thanks for the effort. But no, she was just threw her face in disgust and kind of made it clear she was not impressed. How do you not know that I don't like avocados? It's hold on a minute, it's only been there for a few days. Did you tell him? Did you tell him? And Wallace is equally not impressed. And he kind of feels he's making all the effort and she's doing nothing. And as we saw over the last few programmes, they're not going well. And it looks as though they're going to split. Ah, they did. Now, it's a bit of a weird one, so I'm going to go back a bit and forward on this one. But ultimately, there was no real spark, I think they both seem to say. But it's really strange, because from my viewpoint, I thought that Rebecca was really into Wallace. But obviously, I got that wrong. And throughout the kind of last few programmes, he's been talking to the boys, letting his feelings know. And it came down to, do you know what, we're just not compatible. And Rebecca agreed. And you can kind of tell from her perspective, she was really, really pleased. She was a bit miffed about how she heard it, but she couldn't wait to get rid of Wallace. Again, I found it really kind of strange, but I'm not in her head and I don't know what's going on. I do think she's playing the long game, but did she make the right decision? Or is she going to end up like a Leanne? We'll get to see that. Now, more interesting things to talk about are Mike and Jess. Now, what the heck? Now, Mike has made it clear that he's really, really interested in Jess and feel that there's a connection. Now, originally, Jess didn't seem to kind of reciprocate and was kind of just, I think, amusing him, thinking he's just broken up with Leanne, she's gone, he's feeling a little bit lost, I'll just kind of humour him. But as time's gone on in these programmes, she seems to really, really like him. And obviously, yesterday was a bit of a bombshell when they were just frolicking around in front of Luke's face. And we already know Luke was not impressed. He wasn't impressed with the way Mike was going on. They had a little boys chat. Mike disagreed. It's it's all up for grabs. It's up to Jess. If she doesn't like me, she'll keep with you. So let's just see how things go. It's all about getting to know us. And it is. This is about playing the long game. But Luke was not impressed. Jess, again, she kind of made it clear as though she was interested, but out of respect for Luke, who she doesn't quite fancy yet, she's going to just stay away from Mike and pay more attention to Luke. I don't think that happened, because I swear all I saw was Jess and Mike together and Luke just kind of on the sidelines. But anyway, that's the love triangle that's going on. And then everybody else seems to be happy. Shanice and Luke getting on really well, great couple. Shauna and Callum, again great. Paige and Finn. And Demi and Naz. Now again, everybody seems to be well settled. But lo and behold, whose phone is going off? And it looks as though there's more fireworks. And there were. Now the least 2 compatible couples are at risk of being dumped. So all of the couples had to vote. Now this was going to be always going to be interesting, because Sophie and Mike are not a couple. So they should automatically be everybody's choice as one of those couples. Now everybody else, in my mind, I'm thinking it's got to be Sophie and Mike, and it's got to be Rebecca and Wallace, because everybody else seems to be firm. We know that Naz and Demi, they're hitting it off, having a great time. They had that first magic kiss and they both loved it, enjoying it, and want things to move on. Shauna and Callum, they're going nowhere. They're fixed. They'll probably be the ones who end up getting married as soon as they leave the island. We then have Finn and Paige, again, seem a great couple, loving their time together, so I don't think they're going anywhere. We then have Shanice and Luke M, who again in my eyes, I think they look great together, having a lot of fun and are clearly suited. So no movement there. But then we come to Jess and Luke. Now, we know that Jess likes Mike, doesn't fancy Luke. But she wants to give Luke all the opportunity to go. Now we know that Luke likes Jess, wants Mike to go. So those two were a bit of a crossroads. Jess did not want to vote for Sophie and Mike because she didn't want to see Mike go. Luke wants to vote for Sophie and Mike because he wants to see Mike go. So they're in a bit of a dilemma. But let's kind of like flip it. What's going on with Sophie and Mike? Now, Sophie really doesn't want to go, but she's made it clear to Mike that Luke is going to pick them because he wants to get rid of Mike. So they're kind of like thinking, what do we do? Got to make it tactical, got to make it count. Now, as expected, Wallace and Rebecca were definitely at the top of there. And I think that was right. They're not a couple who are going anywhere. Now, Sophie and Mike were also in there in the mix. But then I felt really bad because Sophie and Mike then chose Shanice and Luke. And I'm like, you've got to be crazy. You've got to be kidding me. They are a couple who you can clearly see love being together. As you can see, that hand is my granddaughter trying to make it into the video. And then, obviously, Jess and Luke got chosen. So everybody's doing their secret votes. But I think the reality is, we all know that Rebecca and Wallace should be one of the couples that definitely have to go. And I do think it's a bit of a toss-up between Mike and Sophie and Jess and Luke. But in my head, I feel as though the couple to go should really be Sophie and Mike. But let's see how that decision goes, because I think there's going to be big surprises. I feel as though Luke and Shanice should definitely not be in there. But I think they're popular enough that they will get a lot of votes. Now, Jess and Luke, again, I think they're popular, but I think they're split. They are not committed. But do we want to see Jess go? I, for one, don't. I think she's really nice. I think she fits in really well. I'm not saying I want to see Luke go, but out of the two, I prefer to keep Jess. But then we have a quandary. We have Sophie and Mike. Now, in reality, I think that Jess and Mike should be together. And I can kind of like see that happen if there was more time, which kind of like leaves Sophie with Luke. Now, you can't split the couples. And they did say only one couple is going to go. So are we going to see Rebecca and Wallace go? Now, ultimately, I think that would make the most sense because they are the least compatible. But then I feel sorry for Wallace. I kind of like feel as though he's really kind of like been treated quite badly by Rebecca. And Rebecca has fallen for kind of like picking a person and then dumping them as soon as somebody else comes in. So we will find out tomorrow night when we're back. And when the viewers have voted and the islanders have voted, we get to see who is going. So stay tuned in. Now, just to give you a quick update, I feel as I've recapped really quickly what's gone on up to the recent episode last night. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this weekly. So every Saturday, I'll post a week's events and give you my views. Now, what I want to hear from you guys out there is give me your comments, send me your feedback, and tell me what you think is going on, has been going on, and how you view things. Have we got some strategies going on, some tactics going on between the players so that they get to stay, others get to go? Let's hope that the right couple gets to go tomorrow. So that's it from me. And don't forget, keeping it fresh, keeping it real, and definitely keeping it middle-aged. Goodbye for now.